Hello and welcome. Leonardo da Vinci was one of the most brilliant people in history. He was born in Italy in the year 1452. He was not just a painter. He was also a scientist, inventor, engineer, and thinker. People call him a Renaissance man because he had many talents. He was always curious and wanted to learn everything. From a young age, Leonardo loved to observe the world around him. He watched birds fly, water flow, and people move. He asked questions and tried to find answers. His notebooks were full of ideas, drawings, and experiments. Even today, people study his notes to learn from him. One of his most famous paintings is the Mona Lisa. People from all over the world visit museums to see it. Another great work is The Last Supper, a painting that shows deep emotion and skill. But Leonardo was not only an artist. He also imagined flying machines, designed bridges, and studied the human body to understand how it works. Leonardo showed us that learning never ends. He believed in using both art and science to understand life. His life teaches us to be curious, creative, and hardworking. He didn't do things just for fame or money. He did them because he loved learning and wanted to help the world. This episode will take you through the amazing life of Leonardo da Vinci. It will help you understand how one man changed art, science, and the way we think. Let Leonardo's story inspire you to explore, ask questions, and dream big. Because like Leonardo, you too can do great things if you never stop learning. Chapter 1: The Birth of a Genius. Leonardo da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452, in a small village called Vinci, in Italy. He was born in a farmhouse near the hills of Tuscany. His name means Leonardo from Vinci. His father, Ser Piero, was a rich man who worked as a lawyer. His mother, Caterina, was a simple village woman. Leonardo was born out of marriage, so he lived with his father and grandparents. As a child, Leonardo was very curious. He loved nature and spent a lot of time outside. He watched animals, birds, trees, and rivers. He asked many questions and wanted to know how everything worked. He did not go to a big school, but he learned by watching and doing. Leonardo did not have many books when he was young, but he loved to draw. He used sticks on the ground and charcoal on walls. His drawings were very detailed, even when he was a boy. His family saw his talent and knew he was special. When he was a teenager, his father sent him to Florence, a big city full of art and learning. This was the first step in his great journey. In Florence, Leonardo started to train as an artist. He learned painting, drawing, and sculpture. He also learned math, music, and science. Even as a young boy, Leonardo's mind was full of ideas. He thought about flying machines, strong bridges, and human bodies. He was not like other children. He saw the world in a different way. This made him a genius from the very beginning. This is how the story of Leonardo da Vinci began, a small boy with big dreams, ready to change the world. Chapter 2: Apprenticeship in Florence. When Leonardo da Vinci was about 14 years old, his father took him to the city of Florence. Florence was a beautiful city full of art, learning, and new ideas. It was the perfect place for a young artist to grow. Leonardo became an apprentice in the workshop of a famous artist named Andrea del Verrocchio. In the workshop, Leonardo learned many skills. He painted, drew, made statues, and worked with metal and wood. He also learned about mixing colors, using brushes, and preparing walls for painting. He watched Verrocchio and other artists carefully. He learned by doing, not just reading. Leonardo was very good at drawing. His lines were clean, soft, and full of life. He loved to draw people, animals, and nature. He also liked to study how things moved. He would watch birds fly and people walk. Then he tried to draw them just right. One day, Verrocchio was painting a picture of Jesus being baptized. He asked Leonardo to paint one of the angels in the picture. When the painting was finished, many people said Leonardo's angel looked better than the rest. Verrocchio was amazed by Leonardo's talent. Some people say he never painted again after that. Leonardo also began to keep notebooks during this time. He wrote down his ideas and made many small sketches. He always asked questions and wanted to understand how things worked. His time in Florence was very important. It helped him become not just a good artist, but a great thinker. In this city, Leonardo started to grow into the genius we remember today. This chapter of his life shows how hard work, learning, and curiosity can lead to greatness. Chapter 3: The Renaissance Man in Milan. In 1482, Leonardo da Vinci moved from Florence to the city of Milan. He was around 30 years old. Milan was a big, rich city, and it was full of music, fashion, and culture. Leonardo went there to work for the Duke of Milan, named Ludovico Sforza. Leonardo wrote a letter to the Duke to ask for a job. In the letter, he did not talk much about his painting. Instead, he wrote about his skills in building bridges, designing war machines, and creating strong buildings. He also said he could make beautiful art. This showed that Leonardo was more than just an artist. He was a true Renaissance man, someone who is good at many things. In Milan, Leonardo worked on many different projects. He painted, designed buildings, created machines, and even planned festivals. One of his most famous works from this time is The Last Supper, a big painting on the wall of a church. This painting shows the moment Jesus tells his followers that one of them will betray him. The emotions and details in the painting are very strong. Leonardo also studied nature, animals, and the human body. He made many drawings to understand how muscles and bones work. He wanted to know how everything fits and moves. People in Milan were amazed by Leonardo. He could do so many things so well. He was a painter, inventor, musician, and thinker. He also made plans for flying machines, water systems, and new tools. Leonardo's time in Milan was one of the best times of his life. It showed the world his great talent and big ideas. In Milan, he became the true Renaissance man, full of wonder, skill, and dreams. Chapter 4: The Last Supper and Religious Masterpieces. One of Leonardo da Vinci's most famous paintings is The Last Supper. He painted it in Milan, on the wall of a church called Santa Maria del Grazie. It shows Jesus sitting with his 12 followers, called disciples, during his final meal. At this moment, Jesus says that one of them will betray him. All the disciples look shocked. Each face shows a different feeling: surprise, fear, anger, or sadness. Leonardo worked very hard on this painting. He did not use the normal way of painting on walls. He wanted to try something new to make the colors brighter. But this new method did not last long. After a few years, the painting started to fade. Still, people loved it. Even today, many visitors from around the world come to see The Last Supper. Leonardo's religious paintings were full of life and meaning. He painted people in real ways, with real emotions. He did not just make them look holy. He made them look human. This made his work very special. Another famous painting is The Virgin of the Rocks. It shows the Virgin Mary with baby Jesus and angels. The background has caves, water, and rocks. Leonardo used soft lines and gentle light. He made the people look calm and peaceful. Leonardo believed that art should show both beauty and truth. He used science to study faces, hands, and bodies, so his paintings would be more real. He even opened bodies to learn how muscles and bones work. These religious masterpieces show Leonardo's deep thoughts, strong skills, and love for learning. Through his art, he helped people feel closer to stories from the Bible. His paintings are not just pictures, they are windows into human emotion and divine beauty. Chapter 5: The Scientific Notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was not only a great artist. He was also a great scientist. He wanted to understand how the world works. To do this, he wrote many notes and made many drawings. These are called his scientific notebooks. Leonardo carried small notebooks with him everywhere. Whenever he had an idea, he wrote it down. He used pictures, lines, and arrows to show how things worked. He wrote about the human body, animals, water, air, and machines. His notebooks are full of questions and ideas. He studied the human body by looking inside it. He drew the heart, muscles, bones, and even the brain. His drawings were very clear and detailed. They helped him understand how people move and live. Leonardo also studied nature. He watched how birds fly, how water flows, and how light shines. He asked big questions like, why is the sky blue? How do birds fly? How does the human eye work? He also designed machines. He drew pictures of flying machines, bridges, war tools, and even robots. Some of his ideas were very advanced for his time. People did not build these machines then, but today many of his designs still surprise scientists and engineers. One special thing about Leonardo's notebooks is how he wrote. He used mirror writing, writing from right to left, like a mirror. People are still not sure why he did this. Maybe it was to keep his ideas secret or just a habit. Leonardo's scientific notebooks show his love for learning and discovery. He believed that art and science should work together. His notebooks are full of wonder, showing us how one man looked at the world with both deep thought and great imagination. Chapter 6. Anatomy, Engineering, and Invention. Leonardo da Vinci was very curious about how the human body works. He studied anatomy, which means learning about the inside of the body. He looked at muscles, bones, the heart, and other organs. He drew them in great detail. His drawings were so clear and correct that even doctors today admire them. He wanted to know how people breathe, move, and think. He opened bodies and carefully drew what he saw. He wrote notes about how blood flows, how the heart beats, and how the lungs work. His studies helped him become a better artist and a better scientist. Leonardo was also a great engineer. He designed machines, buildings, and tools. He made drawings of bridges, canals, and roads. He thought about how to make life easier for people. He used his knowledge of science and math to make smart designs. He also imagined many new inventions. Some of them were flying machines, tanks, water pumps, and even a robot. He looked at birds to design wings. He believed that one day people could fly. His flying machine looked like a big bird with moving wings. Many of Leonardo's inventions were never built in his time. But now, some have been made by modern engineers. They work just like he imagined. That shows how smart and ahead of his time he was. Leonardo did not just dream. He tested his ideas. He used his eyes, hands, and mind together. He believed that learning comes from watching, thinking, and doing. His work in anatomy, engineering, and invention proves that one person can do many things. Leonardo da Vinci showed that when we stay curious and creative, we can understand the world in amazing ways. Chapter 7. The Mona Lisa and Artistic Legacy. One of Leonardo da Vinci's most famous paintings is the Mona Lisa. It is a small portrait of a woman with a calm face and a soft smile. She is sitting with her hands folded and looking straight at the viewer. Behind her, there is a dreamlike landscape of rivers and hills. The painting looks simple, but it is full of mystery. The Mona Lisa is special because of her eyes and smile. When you look at her, it feels like she is looking back at you. Her smile also changes when you move. Sometimes she looks happy, and other times she looks serious. This makes people wonder, who is she? What is she thinking? Leonardo worked on this painting for many years. He used light and shadow in a soft way, a technique called sfumato. This made the face look very real and smooth. The painting now hangs in the Louvre Museum in Paris. Millions of people visit it every year. But Leonardo did more than just paint the Mona Lisa. He changed the way people thought about art. He believed that art should be full of feeling, not just beauty. He wanted to show real people with real emotions. His drawings and paintings showed great skill and deep thought. He used science to make his art better. He watched how people moved, smiled, and looked around. This helped him create lifelike art that touched people's hearts. Leonardo da Vinci's artistic legacy is huge. Many artists still study his work today. He showed that art is not just about painting, it is about observing, thinking, and feeling. His art continues to inspire people all over the world, even 500 years later. Chapter 8. The French Invitation and Final Years. In the year 1516, when Leonardo da Vinci was over 60 years old, he received a special invitation from the King of France, named King Francis I. The king admired Leonardo's talent and wanted him to come to France. He offered Leonardo a nice home, money, and the freedom to work on anything he liked. Leonardo accepted the invitation and moved to France. He lived in a beautiful house called Clos Luce, near the king's palace. The king often visited Leonardo and listened to his ideas. They became good friends. Even though Leonardo was getting old, he continued to draw, teach, and plan new inventions. Leonardo brought some of his best paintings with him to France, including the Mona Lisa. He kept this painting with him until the end of his life. He also brought many notebooks full of ideas, designs, and sketches. In France, Leonardo could not paint much because his right hand became weak. But he still thought and shared his knowledge with others. He spent his time writing, drawing, and talking to students. People around him respected and loved him. On May 2, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci died at the age of 67. It is said that the king was by his side when he passed away. Leonardo was buried in a small chapel near his home. Even after his death, Leonardo's work lived on. His paintings, notebooks, and ideas were shared across the world. He left behind a gift of knowledge and beauty that still inspires people today. Leonardo's final years were peaceful and full of honor. He showed that a true genius never stops learning and sharing. His light continues to shine through his work, more than 500 years later. Chapter 9. Philosophy and Vision of Nature. Leonardo da Vinci was not just an artist or inventor. He was also a deep thinker. He had his own philosophy about life, nature, and learning. He believed that the best way to understand the world was to look closely and ask questions. He said, "Learning never ends," and he lived by these words every day. Leonardo loved nature. He saw it as a teacher. He believed that everything in nature was connected: the sky, water, animals, and people. He spent hours watching birds fly, water move, and trees grow. He made careful notes and drawings to learn how nature worked. He believed that truth comes from experience. He did not always believe what books or teachers said. Instead, he tested things himself. He used his eyes, hands, and mind to find answers. He said, "See for yourself." This idea was very new in his time. Leonardo also thought that art and science were not separate. He believed they should work together. To him, painting was not just about beauty, it was also about understanding. When he painted a flower or a person, he wanted to show the truth of how it lived and moved. He also respected all living things. He was kind to animals and believed in peace. Some people say he was even a vegetarian. His gentle view of life made his work more human and full of feeling. Leonardo's vision of nature and knowledge was simple but powerful: observe, ask, test, and learn. He taught us to look at the world with wonder and respect. His philosophy still inspires people today to love learning, respect nature, and see the beauty in everything around them. Chapter 10. The Immortal Legacy of Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci died over 500 years ago, but his work still lives on. His legacy is strong and lasting. People around the world still remember him as one of the greatest minds in history. He was an artist, scientist, inventor, engineer, and thinker, a true man of many talents. His paintings, like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, are known everywhere. Millions of people visit museums to see his art. His notebooks are full of ideas about nature, the human body, and machines. These notes show how deeply he thought and how much he loved learning. Leonardo's ideas were far ahead of his time. He imagined flying machines, robots, and tools that we use today. Even though he lived in the 15th century, his thinking feels modern. He showed us that imagination and knowledge together can change the world. Many artists, scientists, and engineers still study Leonardo's work. They learn from his drawings, inventions, and way of thinking. He teaches us that art and science can work together. He also teaches us to stay curious, ask questions, and never stop learning. Leonardo's life reminds us that it is okay to be different. He was not always understood in his own time, but he followed his heart, and now the whole world celebrates him. He showed that one person can do many things if they keep learning and stay curious. The name Leonardo da Vinci stands for creativity, knowledge, and passion. His spirit lives on in every person who dreams big and works hard. His legacy is not just in books and museums, it is in every curious mind that dares to think and create. Leonardo da Vinci is truly immortal in history and in hearts. Vocabularies. 1. Genius, a person who is very smart or talented. Example: Leonardo da Vinci was a genius in both art and science. 2. Apprentice, someone who learns a skill by working with an expert. Example: Leonardo became an apprentice in a famous art workshop in Florence. 3. Renaissance, a time of new ideas in art, science, and learning in Europe. Example: Leonardo lived during the Renaissance and was part of many new discoveries. 4. Masterpiece, a great work of art or very good piece of work. Example: The Last Supper is one of Leonardo's masterpieces. 5. Notebook, a small book where you write ideas or notes. Example: Leonardo carried notebooks to write and draw his thoughts. 6. Anatomy, the study of the body and how it works. Example: Leonardo studied anatomy to learn about muscles and bones. 7. Legacy, something important left behind after someone dies. Example: Leonardo's legacy includes art, science, and invention. 8. Philosophy, ideas about life, learning, and how we should live. Example: Leonardo's philosophy was to always observe and learn from nature. 9. Invention, a new thing made by using ideas and creativity. Example: Leonardo made designs for inventions like flying machines. 10. Immortal, living forever in memory or history. Example: Leonardo is immortal because people still remember and study his work. Questions. 1. Where was Leonardo da Vinci born? 2. Who was the famous artist Leonardo trained under in Florence? 3. Which ruler invited Leonardo to Milan? 4. What is the name of Leonardo's famous painting that shows Jesus and his disciples at a dinner? 5. What did Leonardo carry with him to write and draw his ideas? 6. What part of the human body did Leonardo study to understand movement? 7. What is the name of the woman in Leonardo's most famous portrait? 8. Which king invited Leonardo to live in France? 9. What did Leonardo believe we should do to understand nature better? 10. What word describes the lasting impact Leonardo left on the world? Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed learning with us. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Your support helps us grow and bring you more inspiring stories and easy English learning content. Do you have a topic you'd like us to cover in our next video? Maybe a famous person, an invention, or a country? Let us know in the comments or messages. We'd love to hear your ideas. You can find answers in the description. Thanks again, and keep learning with us. See you in the next video.